Hi, my name is Maeve Perrin, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to apply quarter marks. So quarter marks are simply a design in the hair on your horse's rump. They are a way to be creative with your show grooming. They are used especially by eventers, specifically for the dressage phase, although they can be applied for any phase. So quarter marks are a great way to just accentuate and bring attention to a really nice hind quarter, or also to help your horse stand out to the judge. A lot of riders use them just to be creative. There is really no limit to the creativity of the design that you can create. Many riders will use quarter marks as a way to express team spirit, or even as the logo for their sponsor. So, to apply a quarter mark, there are just a few simple tools that you need. First, you're going to need either fly spray, a spray bottle of water, or a shine spray. Most riders prefer the shine spray as it's a little bit oily and can help the hairs stand up a little more, although some riders prefer just simply using water. And you definitely want to be sure to test your product before show day to ensure that your horse isn't going to have any kind of allergic reaction to it. Next, you're going to need a stiff bristled brush. Generally, larger brushes with shorter bristles are preferred, although anything with stiff bristles can really help. And then, maybe most importantly, you need a comb with about a 1 to 1.5 inch section cut out of it. So I also sometimes will use this longer edge as well. But either way, that shorter section will help you make the shorter designs. And then you can also use stencils if you prefer. A lot of riders will use stencils to make a more detailed design. They can be a little bit easier for designs like this, or if you were going to do something like a logo, having something that's larger or more detailed, it can be nice to have the stencil to help you out. So the first step in creating your quarter mark is simply to make sure you have a clean horse. So this should be one of the last things you do before entering the show ring, as one, it's very easy to mess up your quarter mark by just rubbing or brushing against it, and also you definitely want your horse to be super clean before you get started. So the next thing you're going to do is you're just going to spray down the area with a thin layer of show sheen. And then you're going to brush all the hair in the same direction. So as I mentioned, there's really no limit to the design that you can do, the creativity. The possibilities are endless. But today I'm going to show you a few of the more traditional styles that you can try out on your horse. It's always important as well to make sure that you try whatever design out before the show to make sure that it suits your horse and highlights their better features and doesn't accentuate anything that you'd rather hide. And you also want to make sure it doesn't look too busy. So the first one I'm going to show you is just a very simple V. If you start up at the top of the horse's hip, come straight down, and then start equally on the other side. Sometimes it'll help to get a stool and look to make sure that you're getting them completely even, and then coming down to meet it. And then at the bottom, you can use your brush to make a nice sharp edge. That's what's really great about brushed in quarter marks, is anytime you feel you would want to start again, try to get it better, and then at the end of the day, they'll just brush out. Another thing you could do for a horse like this, who maybe has a smaller hind quarter, or a horse that, you just want a little something, but you don't need much of a design, just a couple stripes, just straight down. Make sure they're starting the same direction. And this is another great place to use your brush to make sure the ends are even. So then if you want to get a little more intricate with it, you can take out the small comb, the 1-inch section, and we are going to make a checkerboard. So what you want to do is just take your comb and you want to pull down to make a square. Make a small square, and then at one of the lower corners of that square, just pull down again to make another, and you want these squares to be touching. You want to try and get them as square and even as possible. You can just brush away the edges to really sharpen them up. So there's 5 checkers like that. You can make your checkerboard as big or small as you would like it. So you can do diagonal patterns like this, or checkers like that. You can really get creative with it, make them as big or small as you want, as wide as you'd like. You can also use a wider comb. If I wanted to use my larger side of the comb, again, just making squares. In a checker pattern. And using your brush to sharpen out the edges and really make them look nice and slick. So the last technique that I'm going to show you today is the stenciling technique. So a lot of riders find stencils to be easier to use. They're definitely a lot easier if you had a larger, more intricate pattern that you wanted to make, such as a logo. So what you do is you just lay the stencil down on your horse's rump, try and hold it very flat and still. Then just use a brush and brush the hair up. Again, being careful to hold your stencil as still as possible so you don't mess up the pattern. Then carefully lift it off and use your brush to clean it up to how you would prefer. So you can make that as big or small as you want. So I maybe took off too much there, so but you saw how easy that was, just to put it on and to brush the hair against the grain, and then lift that off and just clean up. How you prefer. Alright. So in essence, those are just a couple ways to create a quarter mark. Which, as I said, are just a great way to be really creative with your show grooming and to really express yourself going into the arena and to have a little bit of fun with it. So definitely try out and figure out what works for you and your horse and what you enjoy. Thanks for watching.